Welcome guys. The Wolverine game is likely to host a variety of villains, and in this video we're going to introduce the 5 characters we hope to be in the title. Marvel's Wolverine game can undoubtedly be considered the biggest surprise of the recent PlayStation event. Also, virtual networks were filled with images and trailers in a fraction of an hour to show the level of interest gamers are interested in the game. In addition, Insomniac Games Studio has in the past boasted its skills in making a superhero game, and we hope that Marvel's Wolverine game will also become one of the biggest and best titles in the studio's history in the future. Naturally, a villain plays a key role in a superhero series, movie and video game, and Marvel's Wolverine is no exception. Moreover, the ultranatural powers of Wolverine's character and his insatiable violence make the most violent enemies and villainous characters line up to confront him. In addition, the extraordinary work that Insomniac Games did by villainic characters in Marvel's Spider-Man game and its sequel, Spider-Man Miles Morales, doubles our hopes of playing Marvel's Wolverine. As a result, Wolverine will naturally host a variety of villainous characters, and we're going to introduce the 5 villainous characters we hope to be in the title. Sabretooth. Of course, Sabretooth's character will be one of the stereotypical choices for Marvel's Wolverine game, but watching the tensions between Wolverine and him can make a great experience. As Marvel World enthusiasts are likely to know, Sabretooth is also known as Victor Creed and Wolverine's half-brother. In fact, Logan, as Wolverine, and Victor Hare were on the Weapon X program, during which Victor was given supernatural abilities. But tensions between the two characters began when Victor murdered Logan's fiancée Kayla Silverfox. Of course, since both of these characters are known as evil personalities, they may sometimes cooperate with each other by helping each other defeat Weapon 11, for example, Victor and Logan, and the collaboration between the two characters may become a turning point in Marvel's Wolverine game narrative and story. Of course, let's not forget that the trailer released from Marvel's game Wolverine may also have confirmed Sabretooth's presence in the game. According to observations, the knife seen in the game's trailer probably belongs to a serial killer, and Sabretooth's hand has also been a serial killer in his past. In addition, Insomniac Games Studio also aims to tell an emotional story mixed with Wolverine's personal themes, and this could be another reason for Sabretooth's presence in the game. Magneto. Magneto's character can be called another famous Marvel character who has always appeared in stories related to the Adamantium Mutantes. As Marvel fans probably know, Magneto has once been a close friend of Professor X, the leader of the mutant group. However, due to some disagreements between the two characters, Magneto eventually becomes the enemy of X-Men. Wolverine, on the other hand, can be regarded as the strongest and most aggressive mutant, at the center of all conflicts throughout the Marvel Universe. His adamantium claws, along with his ultranatural powers, can become a killing machine. But on the counterpoint, Magneto has the power to secure him from injury in front of Wolverine's claws. This also makes Marvel's Wolverine gameplay a host of new mechanics, and is likely to be considered a stealth part to deal with Wolverine and Magneto. Deadpool. The relationship between Deadpool and Wolverine is very complicated. In fact, the interface between the two characters was discussed after the release of the film X-Men Origins Wolverine, and we witnessed the unveiling of the new Deadpool character in the film. In any case, using the documents and findings of the projects, it is determined that Deadpool itself was one of the outputs of the Weapon 11 program. Deadpool bears many similarities to Wolverine. Like him, he is agile, and his powers are special and unique. With all these interpretations, he can be called a worthy competitor to Logan. In fact, defeating him required Logan and Victor to unite. Finally, the experience of a boss fight with Deadpool can be exciting and, of course, challenging, and this could turn a new leaf out of the creative narrative of Insomniac Games Studios. In fact, in order to defeat him, we must naturally witness the unity of Victor and Logan, and this can tell a different and fascinating story. However, the point to note is that Deadpool and Wolverine are friends in the cinematic world and Marvel Comics, and the image that emerged of the relationship between the two characters in the X-Men Origins Wolverine movie was highly controversial. But in any case, Insomniac Games can benefit more from this different narrative. Matsuo Surayaba. Matsuo Surayaba is known as a high-stakes assassin in Marvel Comics. He is a member of a murderous sect called Hand, and most of his activities take place in Japan. On the other hand, he has a strange relationship with the X-Men killer. In fact, Matsuo Surayaba falls in love with a murderer from the opposite group and his longtime enemy but decides to remain loyal to his sect. He also played an important role in the death of the woman Wolverine loved, Mariko Yashida. Matsuo Surayaba has many fencing skills and can be considered a challenging boss fight. In addition, Logan's trip to Japan and being placed in environments where each can become a flashpoint for Marvel's Wolverine game also adds to the features of his presence in the game. However, the contrast between Wolverine and Matsuo Surayaba comes almost long after the confrontations of Wolverine, Sabretooth and Deadpool. In fact, if Insomniac Games studio plans to include both of the above events in a game, it should take a relatively long-lasting leap in the history of its story. Cyber. Cyber can be called one of Marvel's most important villains, which has been favored by game studios. He bears much resemblance to Wolverine and worked for a drug cartel at the same time as Logan. In addition, the pair's first confrontation takes place in Madripoor, a place likely to be featured in Marvel's Wolverine game trailer. In addition, Silas Burr or Cyber was also involved in the murder of Logan's mistress, and during the altercation between the two characters in Madripoor, an eternal wound is created on his body. Finally, the above can show him with the motive for revenge in Marvel's Wolverine. Cyber is known as a ruthless warrior who can simply eliminate any enemy. Also, it's so hard to scare Logan with his ultranatural powers that only a few characters have succeeded in doing so, one of which is Cyber. What do you think? Which villain characters are you interested in playing Marvel's Wolverine?